Greetings. I'm the Reverend Jen Fenner of Epworth United Methodist Church in Gaithersburg, Maryland, and this is Transformed by Faith Today. This Lenten season, we have been journeying through the Gospel of John, and this week we've been in John chapter 9, where Jesus brings sight to a man who was born blind. At the very end of the whole story, we find Jesus, who has literally gone and sought the man out after he was expelled from the temple because he simply wouldn't play into the Pharisees' hand. Jesus went and found him outside the temple when the religious leaders had rejected him and began a dialogue with the man. In John 9:35, we hear these words. Jesus heard that they had thrown the man born blind out of the temple. And when Jesus went and found the man, he said, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" "Who is he, sir?" the man born blind asked. "Tell me so that I may believe in him." Verse 37, Jesus said, "You have now seen him. In fact, he is the one who is speaking with you." Then the man said, "Lord, I believe." And he worshiped Jesus. Jesus said, "For judgment I have come into this world so that the blind will see and those who see will become blind." Some Pharisees who were with him heard him say this and asked, "What? Are we blind too?" Jesus said, "If you were blind, you would not be guilty of sin. But now that you claim you can see, your guilt remains." There's so much in this text, but first of all, I just want to remind us that in the moments when we feel like we have been kicked out, thrown out, ostracized, told we don't belong, Jesus is the one who comes and finds us. And in the place where we feel like all has been lost, he begins by going back to the basics. Do you believe in the Son of Man? The man born blind, of course, says, "Who is he? Tell me so that I may believe." And Jesus, like he did with the woman at the well, says to this man, "You've not only seen the Son of Man, but he is the one speaking with you." How many times have we asked for Jesus? Have we asked for the power of God? And we fail to see and to realize that we're actually speaking to the one that we seek. The man was so overwhelmed by the fact that he's really talking to the living God that he simply says, "Lord, I believe," and he worships Jesus. And Jesus reminds this man, but of course is speaking to all of us, that for judgment he's come into this world, that for this ability to give the blind the ability to see and those who think they can see an awareness of their blindness. The Pharisees, of course, then question this, and Jesus says, "If you were blind, you wouldn't have sinned. But because you see, you are in sin." How many times does Jesus turn the tables? How many times does Jesus cause us to see circumstance and situations in almost exactly the opposite of the way in which we've been taught to see it? And how many times do we cry out for the living God only to realize that God is the one speaking to us? Today, I invite you, as we are one step closer to Easter, I invite you to really ask for eyes to see, to ask for the places that are blind in your own life to be enlightened by the work of Christ, to ask for the ability to be changed simply by a dialogue, a conversation, a face-to-face interaction with Jesus. God, we're grateful that sometimes when we think we have it all together, you are among the first to come and remind us of what we do not see like you see. We're grateful, God, that you seem to always do it different, that you show up when we've been kicked out, that you expose our blind spots when we think we're seeing well, that you, when we are blind and acknowledge our need, are the one to give us true and deep sight. God, we ask that we would be the ones who in your name show up outside the temple when someone feels like all has been lost, that we would be part of the light and the life and the grace. We ask, God, that we would not become so confident, that we would be blinded by our own ego and unable to see your work in this world. And we are extraordinarily thankful, God, that your power is that great, able to make the blind see, able to bring home those who are lost, able to forgive sin, able to be the living God who speaks with us face to face. Keep us mindful and attentive with open spiritual eyes and ears as we make our way to the cross and the empty tomb. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.